This video explains what your photo CD should look like and how to import the data into the program. This process is easiest if you have an index file to import from, so let's take a moment to look at an example index file. An index file is a tab delimited text file that contains all of the family information that you want to import into the program, including names, addresses, and image file names. This is an example of a sample index file. The most important part of an index file is the header row. The header row lists the type of information that we're tracking for each family. You can import any type of information, but this sample file includes all of the most common fields. Last name. This is the family's last name. When you flow your families to pages, they will be sorted alphabetically by this field. First name. This is the first name of the primary member of the family. This is typically the husband's first name, but not always. If there is more than one family in this book with the same last name, this field will be used as a secondary sort field. Spouse. This is the first name of the spouse or partner of the primary family member. Child 1 to 6. These fields are reserved for children's first names. If you have families with more than 6 children, then you will need to add additional child fields. Address, city, state, zip. These fields hold the address information. This information is typically only used in the roster section. Email, telephone. These fields hold contact information. This information is typically only used in the roster section. File name. This field lists the file name for the portrait image associated with this record. Not all of your records will have images associated with them. Any family with a blank file name reference will automatically be flagged to not show up in the Portraits section of the book, but will still be included in the roster section. Folder. If your images are inside of a folder, enter that folder name here. This folder needs to exist adjacent to your index file. Continue adding a new family to each row until you have entered all of your people information. Now that we have a proper index file, let's take a quick look at how the images need to be formatted. Your images can be in JPEG or TIFF format, but JPEG images seem to work the best. Books is set up to accept one of two file orientations, 4x5 or 5x4. You can use whichever you think will work best for you, but all of your images must be the same aspect ratio. You cannot mix sizes. Now that we have a proper image CD to import, let's return to Books and import it. Start by clicking the Import Wizard button on the right. We are now prompted to locate the index file. Click on Browse to bring up the Browse dialog. Navigate to your CD image and choose the index.txt file. This should be located right at the root of your image CD. Once you've located and selected the index file, click on Open. Now that the index file has been chosen, click on Next to proceed to the next screen. You are now ready to import your people data. Click Finish to go ahead with the import. You'll see a few progress bars as the images are copied over, the people records are built, and the records are checked for errors. Once the import process is complete, you'll receive this success message indicating how many records were imported. Click OK to that confirmation message and you'll be returned to the People List screen. If all of the records imported correctly, you will be presented with the entire list. If there were problems with any of the records, like missing names, then just those problem records will initially be displayed. Simply click on the Show All button to bring up the full list of people. Congratulations! Your people have now been successfully imported. Any records that did not have an image file associated with them will automatically be flagged as Do Not Print, which means that they will appear in the roster export but will not appear in the printed pages. For detailed instructions on editing this data now that it has been imported, please refer to the People section video.